Hello, welcome and good morning to our last English speaking seminar. Today I'm here with Stefan. I told the audience that you will be here today. Earlier in the prior sessions, we have heard only your lovely voice.
Yes.
So maybe you introduce yourself a little bit.
Yes, Markus, thank you very much. Hello and nice welcome to our seminar this morning. I'm Stefan and I can tell some few words about me. I started 2008 at WEBAC and as an application engineer working for the sales department. I'm doing my work as a training guy on site and during seminars, and also give technical support to clients, planners, and architects to, let's say, to solve their problems worldwide.
Okay, thank you so much. So, like in the prior sessions, you will have the possibility to write down questions into the chat, and we will answer these questions after this session. So, you already have seen our company presentation. I would like to spend a few words to tell you who we are. So WEBAC is a family-owned business. It was founded 1978 as a producer and developer of construction chemicals for the maintenance and restoration of buildings. We are here in Hamburg with our production, with our research and development center. This is centralized here in Hamburg. This is in regards to quality control and things like this, because you can imagine, and this is one of our strongest points, in the world you find different climate zones and these construction chemicals react on temperature changes, and it's very important to know which product suits best to the climate. So therefore we have our short ways into the lab. So there we are able to adapt the properties quite fast. We are standing here today normally in our seminar room, yeah. So, like Stefan mentioned before, here we do our trainings. We do our trainings for designers, where we focus on lifetime of the building, but also, like Stefan mentioned, for applicators, where we focus more on hands-on seminars, how to drill, to exchange experience. And last but not least, also for site managers, how can I control the injection works? Yes. Our last seminar is today the Consolidation Line, and I would like to hand over to you, Stefan.
Thank you, Markus. So, as Markus mentioned and spoke about, our last seminar today is the Consolidation Line, which means a different application range to standard injection works. Let's switch to that slide. You see we have a whole wide range of these products. Comes from stopping of water in rush. We will see later some interesting pictures on that, on the small videos. Also rock mass stabilizations, which is a part of a bigger things. Permanent consolidation and sealing includes also slab lifting, which is much more common worldwide the last year, where we had some, because of the drying out of the grounds, we have much problems there. But as you can see, we have tunnel boring machine here, we have a mining area here. It's not only for bigger construction sites, you will see it later, you can minimize it also to your small sites, which is maybe interesting for you to think about this kind of application ranges. So the most important thing, if you use any kind of products, and the technique is, it has to be done with a tree, with many tree points, which are the main key points to fulfill the right working concept. You have to do a concept which is necessary to know what are the target have to fulfill, what is the condition on site, and therefore this concept has to be adapted to the situation on site and in mines or underground construction sites. And it's also a key point that you don't have only one concept, you should have a second or a third concept. As you know, we are injecting in an unknown area, so you never know what happens, and it's good to have a plan B on that case. And compared to that, material and concept is the second point. If you found out your concept, you can choose the right materials, because there are also different materials available depending on the situation. And finally, to bring all together the technique, which is also an important point, to bring the material into the construction, in the soil, like packers, like techniques, like water on site, like air supply on site. This whole concept, these three key points, they have to be prepared before you start your working. Finally, we will show you a small video about this, how this is working.
In this case, it is a smaller building site. It is in regards to ground stabilization.
This goes to ground stabilization. You see the foundation. You see the concept is done before, so the target is to fulfill void filling in underground situations, and therefore we drill some lances into it, put it into the ground on the depth that we need, which is necessary to know before you do that. The next step, you see my colleague there, he's hammering the lances. You can couple the lengths of the lances. Then you get the connector to your pump. The safety is also important on site. You make sure that everything is fit and everything is done, and then you start your injection to fill the voids under that construction areas. This is also important. You do also a secondary injection to spread your material in the depths, and after that you can unscrew, you can recouple the whole things, and you can you can check your work, if it's successful or not. You see all cavities will be filled in that part. So this is this is the main process that you see there. So what you saw in the presentation,
so after the work, the foundation is stable again, and here we see how it works in practice.
Yeah, we see it in the pictures. You saw it in a short video. So we have the same situation here. We have let's say a settlement here of the soil, because we have some water there, and there's a water washing out of the soil conditions. So they brought a concrete, let's say, barrier here to make sure that we can also adjust the lances with a safe grip inside the structure. So the lances are placed inside the concrete to make sure that they stay there stable, and you can use your injection pressure which is required to the soil conditions down there. So, and the target here was to like seen in the video, to settle down, to fill the voids under these foundation pit, to make sure that there will be no collapsing again or will be washed out again. What also, some spots you see here, like this lens, for example, it is necessary to get some informations about the ground conditions. Otherwise, like here, for example, you are not able to place the lenses in the depth that you need. Maybe there are some stones or rock under that point, and you are not able to fulfill their cavities, to fulfill the work down there. Coming back to what I mentioned before, these are also, or the consolidation line can be used also for smaller spots, which is much more common at the moment. Like slab lifting, we get a lot of job sites there. And you see the pump is not the big one, it's a smaller pump, it's handled, you can handle it in closer areas. Here, this side, the slab get a little bit collapsed. So we had a difference between that slab and that slab point, so that to make sure to prevent that loose ground under that, we placed some installation of some packers, and the injection there was done under that slab to make sure that we have no collapsing and we can lift it a little bit upwards to the point that we need.
Now I get it. I think there was traffic of forklifters,
Yes,
and
for
with a load of the, let's say, forklifter, you got different settlements
Yeah,
in the
here in that joints and
okay,
that
and then
parts.
you get a
Yes,
spelling of edges from the concrete. Yes.
yes. So we have a slide that down. You see it in some more details. We have some ventilation in the area outside, which is necessary to let's say to release the pressure of the material will be which will be created in the soil. And also you see you have a visual observation there that if you start the injecting point here, you see that the material is growing under that slab to make sure we fill all that areas out there. The other point is we have here some, for example, some foam which is coming out of that joint here, and also a little bit an outflow here. That guarantees that your level or that your gap is filled under that point. Another point or important point, make sure that you are not so close from packer to packer because you need a little bit distance to make sure that if I inject on one packer, the other packer is also open and will be not, let's say, closed with the material, with a sealed or cured material.
Okay, thanks a lot, Stefan. Another application area could be also the gluing of anchors. In this case, you see here the bright spots. This is simply a wire, a mesh to protect rock fall. So, and here you see it was in a colder climate. It was snowing. It was, I would say, Stefan, was you with me there?
No, I think it was Maurice.
Okay, something around -5. And there the target was, or normally you are injecting these anchors with cement slurry, but due to the cold temperatures, it was the curing process took too long, and they need to protect the road. So therefore, the choice was a compact silicate, and this was, we made a pull-out test afterwards, and the result was that after 1 day we fulfilled more or doubled the values we needed. So this is the application of anchors. Foundation pits, yeah, very often they get made by secant pile walls or bore piled walls. This is a building site in Denmark, and the problem was simply that, I go one slide in front, they've take out cores. So, and this is a drill core, and you can see here's a concrete, and here was an area where you only find gravel. And they made these drillings, and they saw, okay, in a depth of roughly 5 meters, we have these problems, and in a depth of 8 meters, we have areas where we don't have right concrete, we only have gravel, and this, the complete bore pile wall or secant pile wall was 30 meters in length. So the target was now to stabilize all these, that the bore pile wall can take the loads. Here you see it a little bit better. Areas where the cement was washed away. So sorry, I have to go back to this slide. The information we received, they had made 2 core drillings, and they told us, okay, you have a wall in between these 2 drills, so there's a distance in between, they told us. So you know how it is, situation is often different. So we went with a camera inside. So, and there you see suddenly the drill holes was connected. You see it here. This is the way to the other core. So,
Markus,
by meaning our concept,
yeah,
what we thought totally failed.
that's what we spoke about.
Right. So
First.
that's the reason why it is, you mentioned it earlier,
Yeah.
it is absolutely necessary to have a plan B and even better a plan C.
That's right.
So maybe you joined the crack repair session, the live seminar yesterday. For those who has seen this was a diameter 150, so we had to use packers in this size. Everything was bigger and more heavy. You have to take care that the packer is not falling down 30 meters. But the only thing was then to do is, this was a feeding packer and this was a ventilation packer. We installed feeding tubes 30 meters into the depths to fill from bottom to top, and also let the air out. And this picture is taken afterwards, so I don't, the quality is not quite good, but it was in this area. There you see some material was coming out, and here the gravel was glued together, so with the target that the secant pile wall can take the loads again. This, Stefan?
Yeah.
Here we now see a picture. Hope you can see it quite good. We have a tunnel which is flooded totally.
The water level will be, yeah, let's say half in the tunnel, half the height in the tunnel.
Right.
Yeah.
And here we are coming to a point. This could be also dangerous. So therefore, this we have to prevent. We was called to this building site, and it took them over 1 year to rebuild the TBM. And afterwards, it was looking like this because they had such an volume and so much water stream along the overcut in direction of the tunnel, that they had a lot of water ingress. Normal cement grouting was not possible any longer because the cement get washed away immediately. Stefan, what do
Yeah.
you think? It was 20, 30, 50 liters per second.
Roughly like this, yes. And the main key point there was also you never know where the water is flowing or where
Right.
the water is coming. So this is that includes also some, let's say, some drills to inject some colors to make sure that you know your direction of the water, which makes it much more easier to install the packers and to inject these areas there. So, for example, there we decided to move a little bit, I think 10 or 15 meters behind that gap and inject it there because we know the water flow and the water pushes the material to your, let's say, gap which has to be closed, and after a couple of injection hours we get the job done.
Yeah. So in this case, we went into the direction against the water.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. So we injected some color. We was measuring the time between, let's say, between the packer from the inflow to the outflow. So if you have then measured the time, you are able to adapt, like we have done in this case, the speed of reaction to the situation on site, what we need.
For sure, yes.
So, and the funny case was, we had only a few seconds. And you will see it in a video afterwards. So on this side, I had a nickname. the pump destroyer.
The pump destroyer.
Yeah. Okay. So another building site, I think this was in Peru, I guess. Stefan, you was there,
Yes.
where you had these enormous water inrush into the tunnel. There also, please think back with the concept. We are, let's say, building in unknown ground. So expect the unexpectable.
That's right.
I would say. After you have done the job, you are always more experienced, for sure. But in this case, in this geology, to make a drill and blast tunnel, yeah, I think they didn't know that these have geology formation. Otherwise, they would have made a segmental lining.
Yeah, this is the picture before and after, or let's say during the injection works.
Right,
there.
right. It is. You can compare it a little bit with a normal crack injection.
Yes.
Everything is bigger. Everything is, yeah, taller. So you are drilling into the rock. Try to find, or you are finding the crack. Then again, inject maybe some color. Measure the time. Adjust the speed of the material, and then you can do a proper job. From the product side.
Yes, from the product side, there are different types of products, like you know from other works, from injection works. So there are polyurethane foam resins where you can create a fast block first to stop the water or to stop the main water inrush. Then we have polyurethane resins as a let's say with a less foaming, which is more common if you do a slab lifting. Also, a special way you have to think about is if you work in front of a cutter head of a TBM, and you inject a huge amount of material with a polyurethane. Sometimes it will be, let's say, critical about the gluing factor. Material will get warm during the cutting, and maybe the TBM can stuck. So therefore, there are some silicate systems available, like silicate foam resins and silicate standard resins, which can also be used for anchoring, for example. But these products are cuttable. That means if you inject them in front of a cutter head, you can go through after that injection, which makes it much more easier to, without any problems. And finally, let's say a new version of all these products to make it much more also economical. There are some hybrid injection systems which combines a cement grouting with a polyurethane grouting. These, let's say, is a short overview. And as you remember, these influences here of the material range have also some huge influences to your concept that you have to do before you start your injection works.
Okay, super. So this is my favorite product. Like I told you, we are able to adapt the speed of the product and to show you how fast they can be. You see it there. It's only, I don't know, it's maybe 3-4 seconds. So with this, I always say, with this material, you can stop a waterfall.
And the pumps, for example.
And yes, thank you that you remind me. Yes, you can call me pump destroyer. That you don't destroy the pump. Stefan can tell you
Yes.
something about how to clean it, how all this works.
Yes, you heard the products are, let's say, have a short reaction time. Therefore, it's necessary to use another, let's say, injection technique, injection pumps. It's a two-component pump system, which means you have the A and B in a container, which will be connected with a suction hose to your pump system. And all the lines go to that special part here, to that mixing head, where all the components come together. I mean, A and B will be filled together here in that area. And due to the fact that we have a, let's say, a short or fast reaction time, we need to flush the system during the injection. This will be done, for example, here is it written down in a three-way valve, so I can switch to inject A and B together or clean the whole system with a little bit of an amount of an A component to make sure that these connections, the mixing elements, the mixing pipes, maybe also your packer or your inflatable packer will be open for a secondary injection. For example, if we have to go deeper or we have to go continue with our injection work.
And this gives you also the time to switch from one injection point to the other.
That's right. And sometimes on sites, you prepare your injection material, which means you have a standard version, you have an accelerated version, so you can play with the material depending on your situation on site. Finally, one last thing. For sure, we have also some different mixing pipes, which are depending on the material type you are using during your injection work.
Okay. Oh, that
Oops,
was
sorry.
too fast. So that was my turn, Stefan.
Sorry for that.
Okay. This was a short overview where you can use these products from a smaller building site, slab lifting, deep foundation pits, tunneling, mining. So yeah, I would say we covered the product and the application range a little bit. If you have further question, because there is a little bit more planning work necessary, we have to take in consideration surroundings, all these things. We would help you. You find our contact details here, so it's absolutely no problem to drop us an email or whatever. What I can see today, we have no questions. That means we have done it good, or maybe really
be.
bad. I don't know. Okay, Thank you so much. There is one live seminar, one additional live seminar. Now again, German speaking for the consolidation line. And yeah, we are at the end of the session. That was our last one, your first one, my last one.
Great pleasure.
We hope to see you face to face, latest in 2 years in Munich. Thanks for your time.
Yes, take care and stay healthy.